There we are, guys. Sorry, we had to restart our router. Thank you guys for joining me. Again, this is Dr. Heather Carden along with Dr. Ralph Carden.
Hello.
I am the co-owner. We are the co-owner of Carden Center for Wellness. I'm coming to you live from my Ask Dr. Heather Facebook page, where we want you to ask questions. We want you to act on some of the suggestions that we make on your health to achieve those goals you always want. So today your question has been, how do I calculate macros? How do I get started? It's over confusing. I've gone on this keto calculator. I've been on this app and it's told me this and it's told me that. And I see this. Patients come in and they've downloaded a bunch of information and someone over here, some avatar told them to do this and somebody over here in this app said to do that. It is all very individualized. Nicole, thanks for jumping back on. We had internet issues. We had a I think TF1 tornado 48 hours ago. So we've had a little bit of internet issues, but I'm super excited today to talk to you. So I want you to get your pen and paper out and we're going to help answer your questions about how do you get started. I get these all the time. So number one, what do we do in our office? I did try to make this so it reads correct and it's not. So I'll try it one more time with the toolbar. If it doesn't work, then we won't worry about it. So we'll see if it does. So when you're getting started, the first thing you need to do is you have to identify how much you're eating. So what this says is know your macros, if you can read that. So that generally means if I have someone coming to my office, before I even see them, I have them journal their journey, write down everything they're eating. I can kind of guesstimate their macros. Remember, we just have three. We have carbohydrates, fat, and protein. And we always calculate total. We never do net because people's guts are a mess. Your liver might not be working. Maybe you're missing a gallbladder, part of your colon. So always calculate total. So we know where to start. So if you're a person who's wanting to lose body fat, wanting to help reverse or remiss your diabetes or type 2 diabetes, type 3 diabetes, or just function optimally, we know that our superior fuel source is not carbohydrates. There are no essential carbohydrates. So when we get your pen and paper out, this is what we do in our office. Then I had the amazing pleasure of spending an hour today with Dr. Martha Katz. She is a PhD in human behavior and psychology in nutrition and lifestyle. And she's getting ready to launch an app that will help people's life make it a lot easier. So let's just talk about you. Maybe you're the brand new patient or person or friend I had in today. And last week you showed me what you were eating. And you've been eating really about 200 carbs a day. We don't really focus on fat and protein unless you're an athlete and you're doing way too much protein. So if you're, for example, you've been doing around 200 or averaging 200 carbs a day total, we don't take you down to 25 carbs. It's too shocking for your system and you're not going to be able to function. So what we have done over the past 20 years of practicing, we interview the patient and say, where are you at? How do we help get you going? If you were a smoker, would you need to go cold turkey or would you need to actually just decrease like 2 cigarettes every other day? Generally, you can know what your human personality is. Like if you open a bag of chips, you eat the whole chips and everything in the bag, or you can have 2 and be fine. So what we found though is that we're also talking about blood sugar. So if you're eating about 200 carbs a day, then I would actually say let's go down to 140. Let's just take a good 30 or 40% off of that. That would be 140 carbs. It would still freak out the low carb community and the paleo community maybe and the keto community, but our goal is actually to transition you slowly and not to freak everything out. If you're remodeling your home, you need to do it room by room and slowly take everything out, right, and put things back in that's needed. So what we do is we actually, if you're at 200 carbs, we maybe go down to 120 or 140, which would be maybe 45 carbs at every meal, 3 times a day. That's the number one most important things. We're not having you feed 6 to 7 times a day. We're having you actually... Remind me later. Sorry, it's asking me questions. Software update. So we want to make sure you understand you don't have to eat 6 to 7 mini meals a day and to identify when you're hungry. So what we do is we have you overload with vegetables, like 3 heads of cabbage is like 9 carbs. Like it's a whole plate of food, right? I'll show you what we had for dinner tonight. We grilled romaine. I had some red peppers grilled, had a nice small piece of a hamburger that was probably 3 ounces, maybe 3.5 ounces. And then we had bacon and olive oil and balsamic vinegar all over the veggies. So my plate was very, very veggie friendly, which is a volume of food because I like to eat. But we take you again about down to 120, 140 and tell you that it's okay to do, 35 to 45 grams of carbs per each meal. The largest should be at lunchtime. And let's see how you feel for the next 10 to 14 days. And as your body adjusts and we get you moving a little bit, because 80% of what you eat dictates your overall body shape and your overall health. It's not exercise. Exercise is 20%. So we focus first on food and mindset, then exercise. So after we get down that first 10 weeks and maybe you're doing great at 140 and maybe we've been able to lower some of your prescription medications, again, do this alongside your doctor. Maybe you successfully did 120. Let's go down to 90. Let's see how you feel. So that would be 30 carbs at breakfast, 30 at dinner, and 30 at dinner. Yes, I only eat 30 carbs per day. However, as you're acclimating your body, you've got to go kind of slow. So find that starting point, journal your journey for a couple weeks. There's no reason to just start today. So you can journal your journey and see where you are. And then maybe you're great at 90, you feel pretty good, your blood sugar's pretty balanced, your energy's pretty good, you've transitioned okay, you started doing a little bit of movement. Then maybe the next 7 or 10 days, let's go down to 75. So we're just cutting off 5 off of each day, and then you guys can do the math. Dr. Westman's has an amazing principle. Sarah Hallman, Dr. Jeff Gerber, they're all in that low carb community. They are 6, 12, 6. That means you have 6 carbs for breakfast, 12 for lunch, and 6 for dinner. So that's a great place to start if you're already super low carb trying to get in ketosis. But today we're talking about the person who's on the standard American diet, the SAD diet, the Western diet, whatever you want to call it, who are over-consuming tons of carbs. And we don't have you replace those carbohydrates with protein. We don't do that. Someone said, well, if I'm going to reduce my carbs, I should up my protein. That's absolutely not the case. So we focus on the carbs and focus on when you're hungry. So if you get down to 90 carbs or 75 carbs a day and you're hungry, that's when we say, we need more fat. Fat makes us feel fuller longer. So before we had exogenous ketones, we would have people make a little mixture up of grass-fed butter, coconut oil, and any type of nut butter, whether it's almond or macadamia nut, cashew, generally not peanut butter because it's an allergen. And at midday you feel hungry, have some celery with some of that dip because it's high in fat, or have some cucumbers with some of that dip, or just have a tablespoon, which is about 110 calories, and then drink water during that time. So mindset going from lots of feedings down to 3 feedings in a time frame. So we're not doing intermittent fasting, although no one's eating when they're sleeping. Then we actually take it to the next step where you start to feel really good. So that 75 carbs, we got to go a little slower. Maybe we just go to 50, which is cutting off 5 off of each meal. Does that make sense? So it's super, super slow and steady, training your body to have 3 meals a day. We use exogenous ketones mid-morning, mid-afternoon, and so you don't feel hungry, or tired. We've also used acupuncture to help control people's hand to mouth. We make sure we take gum out. We make sure that we take mints out and things like that. And then we make sure you journal your journey. So it's really that simple, guys. If you're already kind of paleo low carb and you actually want to get into ketosis, and you have no existing medical condition, then what we would do is say, okay, if you're already at 50 or 60, let's go straight down to 25. Let's do Dr. Gerber's, Dr. Hallman, let's do Dr. Chatterjee's work, and let's do 6, 12, 6, 6 carbs at breakfast, 12 at lunch, 6 at dinner, and then let's do that for 10 or 14 days. Using the urine 6, let's see if you get in ketosis. If you don't, then we drop them down to 20 and we increase exercise a little bit. But if you do get in ketosis at 25 total grams of carbs a day, then we let you go up by about 3. So add 2 more carbs to each meal. So that would be 6 would go to 8, 12 would go to 14, and then 6 would go to 8. So you just kind of check and see how your body is, and then you do that system by increasing 2 or 3 carbs per meal or per day, not 2 or 3 per day, but increasing that, and then saying, oop, I'm out of ketosis. Well, is it because I didn't sleep good? Is it my cycle? Was I super mad yesterday? Was I sick or stressed out? If so, then maybe that wasn't the reason you slipped out of ketosis. Maybe you have a food sensitivity and that could have taken you out. Then you actually go back down to that starting point. So it's super important to journal the journey when you're getting into a truly ketogenic diet. So again, if you're 40 or 50 and you have no medical issues, no diabetes, then yes, we could strip that down pretty quickly. You just have to monitor it. But if you're a person with blood sugar, diabetes is rampant in all age groups, then you've got to go slow and steady. There's no badge of honor to win the low carb race tomorrow if you feel terrible. Inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. So we have a lot of different programs that we've done over the last 20 years, not only from our advertising programs being the yellow page now to being Facebook Messenger or whatever this is, Facebook Live, because it really helps a lot of people. So we now have a 10-day program. Originally we would do 60 and 90-day programs. We have tons of people signing up, but now in the world we live in, 90 and 60 days seems way too far for somebody. They have a graduation party, they have a wedding, they have a vacation, they've got to get the weight off now. So that's where we actually thought, you know what, we've based on demographic, based on what we've done the last 5 to 6 years, we need to meet people where they are. I believe anybody can do anything for 10 days. 90 days is kind of hard, right? So maybe you try to journal for 90 days. Something simple like that. Do a Facebook Live for 90 days. Do a post for 90 days. Do all your paperwork before you go to bed for 90 days. Balance your checkbook every day. Or even exercise for 90 days straight. It can be hard, and we had people just really struggling with that 90-day. We said, well, let's go to 60 because that seems pretty reasonable. It gets females through 2 cycles. Well, we still have the same kind of compliance. People would all be all in, and then by that like week 6 and 7, they're just not showing up. They're not sending me their food diary. So I think 6 weeks is an amazing starting point because it takes 28 days to really circle or clean out our liver. It takes about 28 days to get rid of some of those toxins in our body, and also takes 28 days to reform a habit or to quit a habit, whether it's smoking or Diet Coke or honey or chips or whatever it is, ice cream. So everyone's not perfect every day. So you got to add a few days in for the learning curve, right? So maybe that 28 days or 30 days now goes to not 4 weeks to 5 weeks, so 35 days. And then human performance, not everyone's 100%. Let's assume everybody's great at 80 or 85%. Then we go to 6 weeks. So that's really a sweet spot where people can really start to make changes. If you've ever signed up for a trainer, they're going to tell you 6 weeks is that sweet spot. Show me that here. So Dr. Ralph's, well, he's not going to do that. I thought he was. So what we've done is, and I just put some stuff up here. So start your macros, just journal your journey, whatever app you want to do, count your total macros. And the second thing is, then you need to make a plan. Just like we talked about going from 200 down to maybe 140, then maybe down to 90, you've got to make a plan on your calendar. So I want to see the other one. So Dr. Ralph, we did a bunch of grilling. Everyone complains about time. So he grilled hamburgers and chicken, and I don't know what that thing is, some type of sausage. But we talk about carbohydrates. I wanted to show this plate. And it is all cooked. So this is just grilled romaine. It doesn't have any E. coli in it, which is about 0 carb. This is this is just grilled zucchini. We have grilled asparagus. And the highest carb thing we have in here is actually grilled red peppers, which I love, with just sea salt and salt. You could probably have almost this whole plate, except for probably the red peppers. You take that out for about 30 carbs. I mean, this is how much food you can eat, guys. It's a ton of food. But if you're having a Snickers, it's a Snickers bite. If you're having a Haagen-Dazs sandwich, out the whole thing. I know some of that stuff is like 750 calories. Dr. Ralph's checked a cheesecake at Hy-Vee and it was like 700 calories per slice. And you hear cheese, all the ketogenic diet. So anyway, as we move forward, so we've got 3 different options. People always say, what do you do in your office? How do you help people? How do you get them started? So I want to help you help other people. I have developed a 10-day program that leads into a 6-week program. Why 10 days? I think you can do anything for 10 days. Not only the amazing thing, I'm reading this stuff. So on our grilled romaine, real quick, we take the grilled romaine, we put butter, olive oil on it, and sea salt. We grill it, and then we combine onions, which are a little high in sugar, bacon, onions, and garlic, saute that. Then we add balsamic vinegar, and we add extra virgin olive oil to it. It is amazing. My kids love it. They crave it. It's very economical to make, super easy. Just drizzle it all over and throw whatever you want on top. But that dressing's good for anything. So again, let's get back to the 10-day, moving to the 6-week program. And I think Robert's on here, Roberta, he will say the same thing. He's an amazing trainer out of Missouri. I think it's at Least Summit, Belton area. Blue Springs, thank you. Dr. Ralph is correct me. Mr. Parker's out of Blue Springs. It takes 6 weeks to truly start making body compositions, to get in cardiovascular shape, whether you're a couch potato going to 5K or you just start lifting weights. It's 6 weeks. But mindset is you can do anything for 10 days. We have an amazing 10-day Keto KickStart Reset. It's a book that I've actually made because I'm always handing out papers all over the place. It takes you step by step through what you need to do, not what I need to do, not what Darla needs to do, not what Oscar or Jenny needs to do, but what you need to do for yourself. And we have lots of places. It's a whole entire workbook. You fill out where your obstacles are. You fill out where your goals are. We teach you how to get going. This is not on the list, but you can eat an abundance of everything on this page. So the first bit's really just cutting out garbage. And then we have, he said, don't go through every page. So we have meal ideas, breakfast ideas, get an accountability partner. I want you to calculate your water. I want you to calculate your macros for you. And so we also have just getting started. So if you're not walking at all, we have a way to get started. If you're already doing some cardio, let's lift that up. Let's do a little hip stuff. And it really is about journaling the journey. So we have body mindset. Every day you're going to journal what you eat, how you feel, what happened in the bathroom, what happened when you slept, all that great kind of stuff. So there's about 3 ways. So we talked about if you were a smoker or if you were a Diet Coke lover, I used to be, that's why I keep bringing it up, would you have to go cold turkey or would you have to reduce? So if you're a smoker, would you just have to cut it out and go through the withdrawals, or would you have to just reduce your cigarettes 2 by 2 by 2? The deal is, let's think about alcohol. An alcoholic must go cold turkey because all fruit, carbohydrates, alcohol all break down into glucose. Sugar is truly addictive, even more than cocaine. So if you're a carboholic where you open the bag of chips and you eat the whole one, you're going to have one Oreo and you eat the whole thing, or one piece of watermelon, or it goes into 4 cups of berries and fruits and everything else on the plate. You know yourself. If I have one, I'm in trouble. You're the person that needs to go cold turkey. So we have 3 different options to get started. So when, and Jana, I will answer your question. We can get the workbooks to you. You can sign up. We're doing some online classes now. So we have people just really, when we do small group stuff, identify what you are. So if you're a person who, doesn't really have a huge carboholic addiction, but your body needs to go slow, Dr. Ralph's chirping in the background. Oh, he's correcting my grammar. He loves me. Anyway, so we have really 3 to 4 options. The first option is for the person who has already kind of do minimally carbs, but they can't get to that next level, or they are so addicted they have to go cold turkey. Then we do a 3-day keto fast blast. We've done this for years in our office. So you will do the first week 3 days of a keto fast blast, and then the second week, so you'll do 72 hours, then you'll do 48 hours, then you'll do 24 hours on consecutive 3rd and 4th week. Remember, 28 days to make a habit, 28 days to break a habit, 28 days for your liver to turn over and get all that junk out. So if you're a person who's super toxic and got to get started, or maybe you just got diagnosed with some metabolic disease, this would really be the optional one for you, and or if you're sugar addicted. Or maybe a person who, I got to go slow instead, you're going to freak me out. I mentally can't wrap my head around it. Then what we do is week 1, we simply cut out the garbage. It's that simple. So we go through your refrigerator. I've got videos on my YouTube channel, which is Ask Dr. Heather. We can clean out your refrigerator. We can do it virtually as well. I have those program packages. But you want to clean out the garbage and say, my last meal's at 7 p.m. So that's like a step 1 thing. Then maybe week 2 and 3, you do eat 1 day a week. You do a 24-hour fast. Then week 4, you actually do a 48-hour fast. Why are we doing these keto fasting? Because the way to get rid of blood sugar in your body, think of an alcoholic or someone who smokes, is you have to get it out. You can get it out by working out, but you can't refeed it in. So if we go slow, but we have to for diabetics for sure, people can adjust much better because inch by inch is a cinch. But again, some people have tried everything. They need this accountability. They need this program because in their mind, they can get from week to week. When you do a keto modified fast blast, you're still drinking water. We have used fermented greens. We've used exogenous ketones. Again, I've used that fat dip or even just tablespoons of cod liver oil, or I love that nut butter, grass-fed butter, coconut oil mixture when you get hungry, and lots of water, and de-stress your life. We take you all through all those good things. I'm probably going too long now. But then when you have a 24-hour fast blast, or you go without food for 24 hours, your body burns that glucose that's there. So you need to be up, moving around. It's not like you lay in bed for 24 hours. You burn through that glucose. Then your body will start tapping into the glycogen, which is the fat stored around your muscles, which happens at 48 hours. Then at 72 hours, your body actually starts regenerating new white blood cells. So we talked about option 1 being for people who are metabolically challenged. Maybe you just got diagnosed with something that you need some significant health with. And then option 3 is, you know what, I'm pretty good. I'm going to do this 10-day over and over and over and over again. I'm going to fast 1 day a week for 24 hours and do the rest of the program, which is absolutely amazing. So we help you get in where you fit in. And I think that's where the confusion happens, is now that there is media, which is great, we can teach more people. It's overwhelming. Where do I start? Who do I start? So you get paralyzed. You go on Pinterest, you pick all these meals with 50,000 recipes. I love Maria Emmert. You buy all of her cookbooks, which I have almost all of them except for the new Instapot one. Beautiful pictures. I'm a mom of 4. I can't do that. I need to go get some rotisserie chicken or do exactly what Dr. Ralph did tonight. He grilled up food for the next 2 days. We have a violin concert tomorrow, and then one of my college kiddos is coming home. So we needed to have food, and I didn't want to spend it, all the time grilling. And then we grilled up a whole bunch of fresh veggies that will get us through a couple of days. So if we're hungry, it's there. We're not going to grab anything else. I mean, you come to my pantry. I've got pecans for a snack. I'm out of fat bombs. So if anybody wants to send me those, it was my birthday last month. I'm still taking those. And it was May Day. I'll take fat bombs instead of flowers. Anyway, moving fast forward. So hopefully that really helps you identify how to get your macros started. And not all of this is about fat loss. This is the same for reducing inflammation, reducing elevated blood sugar, homocysteine levels, cholesterol levels. So it's the same type of system. Establish where you are, know where you want to go, know where that finish line is, and do each yard by yard. So there's amazing different programs out there. If you pick up Dr. Jason Fung's fasting book, he has 7 or 8 different fasting programs. You know, when to do it, when's the right way. There is definitely a wrong way to do it. There's definitely a correct way to do it, but it is individualized. So I don't have a hold card fact. This is what everybody does, but I can tell you the results are amazing. I've never had one person say, I wish I wouldn't have done that program, which makes us feel good after 20 years. Somebody says, oh, I never should have done that. I never should have lost that weight. I never should have reduced my blood sugar. I never should have reduced my insulin. I never should have gotten my estrogen balance out naturally with foods. And that's what we want to do is we've been functional wellness doctors for 20 years. We have lots of tools in our pocket, things like acupuncture. We have brain tap. We have neurofeedback, which is for your brain, which definitely helps with overeating and overcraving. It is about journaling the journey. It is about being accountable. It is about the support. So again, I think anybody can do anything for 10 days, but we need that 6-week window. So if your mind starts, you know, say, hey, Paula, go run 10 miles. She's like, no way. Paula, can you go walk a mile? She's like, I can do that. Okay, Paula, let's get to the first mile. And let's talk about over the next couple weeks, so getting to that 5-6 miles. That's doable. And so you have to say in your mind, like, I can't have any soda, I can't have any bread, I can't have any pasta, I can't have potatoes. You can have what you want, but in order for me to help optimize your life and help you have longevity, be your metabolic boss, switch things up, not feeling like you're 100 years old. I hear it all the time. People are 25. We do a bunch of testing metabolically. They're 70 or 80, and it's depressing sometimes. We know when your body's balanced, your brain is at its best, you're articulate, you remember, your moods are at its best, you handle stress amazingly easy. So that's what we talk about when food is a platform. Like Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine. We're not blaming anybody. We have been led down a path that is full of wrong stuff. We have been fed artificial flavoring, MSG. We're boiling stuff in plastics. We're drinking out of plastic. We got to go back to glass. So what we do is after that 6-week period, then we actually really start saying, you know, let's clean up. Let's get rid of the dryer sheets. Let's use some essential oils. Let's get rid of the plastic in the house and drink out of glass because those options are now available. So then we really start getting into that. But we have to start simple and we have to start easy. And it's about a 10-day keto kickstart. We don't really even measure your urine the first 10 days. It's mindset. It's I don't have to eat 16 times a day. I don't have to feed before I go to bed. I don't have to feed my workouts. I don't have to feed when I go to my job like I'm eating at 7 a.m. because I'm going to work. I don't think your work required you to eat. So we don't recognize when do I need to feed, because feeding is energy. My dad was a farmer. We fed the cows twice a day. We fed the horses twice a day. So if we're only feeding twice a day the food that you eat, why are we feeding 6 times a day? Well, because on the standard Western diet, when you're high in carbs, which is only 30 minutes of energy, it is just twigs that burn super quick. We need those logs and those coals, which are healthy fats. So then we start to shift that up. So we don't automatically flip-flop, because sometimes our body can't handle all that fat, and our brain, our mouth has tagged our brain. This is new information like, oh, there's fat, I have to store it. When we know that our body should eat fat to burn fat, but you got to give your body a little bit of time. Just because you've read it or heard it from me or heard it from Roberto or somebody else, you got to make sure that you've got a plan. You got to write it down. You got to stick to it. You got to get a coach, just like professional players, just like professional models, anybody. You need a coach that fits your personality, or like your hairdresser. Amanda and Kendra are my amazing hairdressers. So we want you to get in where you fit in. So maybe replay this, go back and take some notes and say, that is me, that isn't me. And yes, we do things online. We do group sessions online. We start our 10-day keto kickstart every other Monday and end on a Wednesday, and then we help you through the rest. So this is Dr. Heather Carden from Overland Park, Kansas, hoping that I brought you some value. Thank you for bringing your questions to me, because this is how I answer them. I think there's probably 400 questions. I kind of categorize it. What macros do we eat? How do we get over stall or plateau? What do I need to do? I have Breaking a Stall or Plateau on a YouTube video. It's not professional. It's from my kitchen. How to measure yourself. I have a video on my YouTube. My video channel is just like this. Ask Dr. Heather. I have 2 or 3 fasting videos. I have some bone broth videos, keto waffles, keto porridge, keto cookies. But keto, again, I'm going to explain that last. So talking with Dr. Martha today, all low carb potentially can be keto, and all keto can potentially be low carb. But just because you're in ketosis doesn't mean you're on a ketogenic diet. So if you're doing an HCG diet, that's not a ketogenic diet because there's no fat. You can still get in ketosis. If you have a bad food poisoning or flu, that can get you in ketosis, but that's not a ketogenic diet. A low carb ketogenic diet food lists look about the same, it's the macros that calculate. It is still a little bit of a calorie in, calorie out. I cannot eat 1,500 fat bombs, which I would love to do. I cannot eat the whole keto cheesecake, nor can I eat 15 keto bagels. Just because they're keto doesn't mean I can do unlimited. You know, your stomach's only as big as your fist, so look at that plate. Like, I got way too many vegetables tonight and I'm stuffed, but vegetables are mostly water, so we'll go out and burn a little bit of that off before we, settle in for the night. But hopefully, again, we brought some value. There are 4 essential steps to health. You can watch that on my YouTube video, but let's talk about you. Let's get you in where you fit in. Please feel free to share this. Add your friends to my page. Throw me questions, put them up there, because if I don't answer you directly, knowing that I'm taking note of that and answering where I need to be. So I've uploaded everything to YouTube. I don't have any fancy ins or out, but hopefully that'll bring you value. Hopefully this brought you more clarity on your own life. And so, yeah, Jana, just reach out to me. You guys can private message me if you want to know more about when we get started. So we start every other Monday and on a Wednesday, and then we just roll into that 6-week program. So it's pretty sweet. It's pretty clean. It's pretty easy. We do have amazing tools and things set up for you to be successful. We have support and community because we have accountability every day the first 10 days. You're going to check in with people you don't know. You don't know me, but now we're friends. And we're going to say, hey, how's it going? How was your sleep today? And then tomorrow we're going to focus on water. And then Wednesday we're going to focus on movement. Thursday we're going to focus on random acts of kindness, waving at a stranger, telling someone they look amazing. So we do all that amazing mindset in 10 days so it becomes a habit. Your taste buds shifted over. No more of that sweet stuff. Yes, you can have coffee. Yes, you can have tea. And then we'll get through the rest of that, how we start doing little exchanges. But just start with Monday night is meatloaf night, and you have cauliflower mashed potatoes. That's super simple. Tuesday's taco night. Whatever you want to put in the tacos, but it's a taco salad with olives and avocados and salsa. Wednesday's going to be, I got a rotisserie chicken, and it's our church night. We're super busy. I need a bag of green beans and broccoli. I'm going to throw some butter and some bacon bits, and we're good. So it's that easy, guys. Don't overthink it. Don't be, what's it called, analysis by over paralysis, or paralysis by over analysis by getting on every calculator. Am I low carb? Am I keto? Where do I need to go? It's all about you, where you're starting from. What is your blood sugar? What are your measurements head to toe? That's why in our 10-day reset, and that's why on my YouTube video, I have a measurement video showing you how to measure 6 or 7 places, because you can be the same weight, and I can show you a picture of Dr. Rao, exactly the same weight, little jelly to a 6-pack. Muscle occupies less space. Does it weigh more? Occupies less space. So I'm over talking now just because I see people popping on. And thank you guys for the hearts and the thumbs up. If you're watching on a replay, please put replay or flour. I'm trying to find a better time. I did a poll. Everybody said after 5, so I tried to come on after 5 tonight. So Paula, yes, we can absolutely get you the book. You can simply buy the book. I just ordered another 1,000 of them because I keep going through them. So privately email me. I know you put it down here, but Paula just sent it to Messenger. My email is drheather, so drheather@cardinwellness.com. I'll put it at the bottom of the thread here. I'll also put my blog. I think you can just click on my page. It'll go to my blog up front. But anyway, you guys have an amazing weekend. Start thinking about where you want your health journey to start, when you want it to start, and when you want it to end. Plan it like a trip. What am I going to wear every day? What am I going to eat every day? What exercise am I going to implant? So we get you through that 10 days, which is the hardest thing. People don't start because they have paralysis by overanalysis, and they look at this huge picture. I'm going to lose 100 pounds. It's too much. No. Inch by inch, or centimeter by centimeter if we need to do that, and ounce by ounce, not 10 pounds by 10 pounds, not stone to stone if you're in the UK, but it is ounce to ounce or pound to pound, however you want to do it. But you guys have an amazing night. I love hearing from you. Again, please share, please tag, do whatever you want, and I look forward to hearing from you all soon. Have an amazing weekend.